Hi, welcome to Snainton Golf. I'm Stuart Fraser, PGA Professional, and I've got another club review here for you today. Now, this is much anticipated. It's one of the biggest marketing campaigns I've ever seen leading up to the release of a golf club. And it is, of course, the TaylorMade Stealth driver. It's instantly recognisable by this red face. It's the one everybody's talking about. We've had our hands on this for a little while now, and I've purposefully delayed the release of this review video because I've now had a chance to test this fully. And I've also had a chance to do a few fittings for this. It's been extremely popular, and see just exactly how this performs in the real world. So here we are with our review. There's two different types of head. We're going to have a go with both today, test both of these thoroughly, but also more importantly compare this to the SIM2, the SIM2 Max, and also the original SIM, and just see how this performs and what improvements TaylorMade have introduced since the release of this golf club. So we'll start with the Stealth Plus. Obviously the thing everybody's talking about, as mentioned, is this red face. 60 layers of carbon instead of the old TI face. That's 44 times lighter than a titanium face. So the idea being, save weight in the club face, and you can redistribute it to other areas where it's probably more important. With the Stealth Plus, the weight's been redistributed to the front of the face, so that's going to bring spin down a bit, but also in the slider bar. So that 10 gram weight is movable, and that can fine tune the trajectory and the ball flight of each individual. So that's really a custom fitter's dream, having a slider bar back in there again. On the conventional Stealth, there's no slider bar. This is the one that's easier to hit, much more forgiving. So they've reintroduced the weight towards the back. So that gives it 15% higher MOI. So they've got quite a few nice new features with this driver. By saving weight in the they've redistributed it. I think this is a really key point, and I think this is where you'll see major improvements from this driver over previous incarnations. They have done a lot as well with both these versions to make them more forgiving. My complaint about the SIM2 and the SIM as well was that it was a very fast driver. It gave you great launch conditions, but it was never the most forgiving driver. So some high handicaps out there would struggle to use it. They didn't really have a driver that they could get fitted into. So basically they've made this face 11% bigger than the SIM2, which I think is a great thing because it did need to be more forgiving. So they're obviously listening to feedback. They're introducing new features based upon that feedback that they've got from the old products. But also, this is 20% bigger than the SIM. So anybody out there who's got a SIM driver, they're going to see a massive improvement in consistency with this over their current product. But 11% still big. Still a big increase, and we have seen from the fittings we've done that this is miles easier to use than the SIM2. Anyway, enough about the technology. Let's move on. Let's hit some shots with these. I'm going to give you an idea as to how these perform, but also compare this to the SIM2 model to see what sort of new features and what benefits we get from this. So I've hit quite a few shots with this now over the last few weeks, and it does feel fantastic, and everybody that's hit it has said that it feels amazing. One of the main benefits of this has been that everybody who's used it has seen increased ball speed from their own driver. So if that ball's travelling faster, there's a really good chance that it's going to go a little bit further as well. We've seen some really nice distance gains from both the Stealth and the Stealth Plus. One thing that has been good as well this time, the HD model, so the high draw model, has actually corrected a slice more than the old SIM2 draw model. So if you are a slicer of the golf ball, the HD model is going to be it works really well for the slicer out there. We've still got that conventional speed pocket along the bottom, but this time apparently they've added a bit more flex in there to give us a little bit more ball speed. And the final thing is this polyurethane cover they've put on the carbon face. And that's supposed to optimise launch conditions for ball speed and spin and things like that. But this driver does feel fantastic. It makes a very similar noise to the old titanium face though. I must admit, I expected something much duller, more of a sort of whack off the club face instead of a tinny noise. But it's the traditional noise that we're used to anyway. It's nothing unusual. It's just, I didn't expect it, that's all. The head shape looking down on this is really good. It's a really nice sort of teardrop shape. I really like it. I really like the head shape of all three. And what was pretty cool about the SIM2 driver is that regardless of whether you played SIM, SIM2 Max, you know, the draw version, they all looked the same from the top. So you were never stood on the tee with a driver head that looked much bigger at the back. Your playing partners couldn't see you were playing the draw version because it was turned in or it had a massive weight in a certain position. and they all look really, really similar from the top. So regardless of which version of this you're going to be playing, they all look absolutely perfect in terms of head shape. The Stealth really is a premium looking product. So this is really what everybody's been asking for, is a comparison between old and new. So we have the SIM2 Max here against the Stealth, so that's the non-adjustable version. These are sort of comparable in terms of the market they're aimed at. It's easy to see now you get them next to each other how that red face of the Stealth is quite a lot bigger than the SIM2 Max, so you can easily see that improvement. Other than that, they're very, very similar shapes. And then you pop them down on the floor, and again, head shape, there's nothing between them, but that Stealth obviously looks really different now, and it looks a lot more lofted when you're setting up to it. Now, it can be a positive for a lot of people, seeing the loft on the golf club gives you a little bit of confidence, and that's purely because the face is a different colour, so it emphasises the loft on the club face a little bit more. Anyway, let's have a few shots with each of these and see what benefits you're going to get from changing to this new TaylorMade Stealth. So here we are, fresh off the back of it, in a few shots with each SIM2 Max and Stealth. I can confirm that I got similar results to what a lot of people are doing that I'm fitting for this new golf club. In terms of, I'm getting about 3 miles an hour-ish more ball speed with the Stealth over the SIM2 Max, and that is very typical of what I've been finding. It's just faster off the face, and obviously if you're creating more ball speed, there's a really good chance that ball's going to go further, create more distance. There's a slightly different noise to the new one. Slightly different feel off the club face. It's noticeably easier to hit, I would say, than the SIM2 and the SIM2 Max. So that's a real plus point. I did find that when I struck it off centre, it still went all right. I wasn't losing that much yardage. It was still going really straight. The one thing I was impressed with the most is the accuracy of this thing. The twist face obviously works. The inertia generator in the back is still present from the SIM2, and that works a treat. Gives it much higher MOI, but also that new bigger face just gives you confidence, and you can strike it anywhere on that club face. I think as well, combined with the carbon and the polyurethane cover, it gives you just that little bit more control of the club face and a bit more forgiveness. So basically, TaylorMade have given us exactly what we wanted with this new Stealth driver, which is pretty much the old one with a bit more ball speed, plus much more forgiveness than the old version. Everybody's going to be able to hit this new Stealth. It feels fantastic, looks fantastic, and you're going to be certainly getting more yardage gains with this new golf club. As mentioned earlier, in a direct comparison between the three of them, Stealth Plus for me is a little bit lower flying, lower spinning. That adjustable weight makes it a little bit easier to fine tune for a fit. Then we've got the normal Stealth, a little bit higher launching with a weight further back. I felt as though that was more forgiving than the Stealth Plus. I certainly miss it a few with that, and it still went really well. The drop-offs, as I say, were absolutely marginal between central strike and toey strike for me it is anyway, but they still went straight. Could be a bit of twist face coming in there as well. And the HD definitely flew much higher and much further left for me. But again, that's not a golf club that's going to really particularly suit me. It was quite high spin in comparison as well, but that's pretty much exactly what I would expect. Overall, I've been super impressed with this new TaylorMade series of drivers, the Stealth. And I would imagine they're going to be highly popular in fittings that we do. So don't forget, get yourself booked in for a fitting, have a go at one of these yourself. It's really important, no matter which model you choose, that you get custom fitted for this new driver, because you need to get the correct combination of shaft and head loft to get the spin exactly right and get the most ball speed for you. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you again soon with more great videos. Thanks for watching. See you soon.